So, how many of you have seen comments or a video or a post on another form of social media, and it's something along the lines of, I had my first job when I was 14. I don't understand how these kids don't have jobs. Yeah, I had my first job 10, I believe. I was 10 years old. And that was by choice. I wasn't made to do it. I wanted to. My parents had this thing where dad worked. At that time, mom stayed home. And his thing was, I'll pay this much money for these items. If you want something more, you buy it yourself. I was like, all right. So about 10 years old, I got a job. The point of this is, guys, when I was 10 years old, it was the early 80s. Reagan was president. It's very different now. We have a wildly different economy. The supply chain is very different. Things are just not the same as they were in the 80s when many of us had jobs as preteens and early and young teens. Those don't exist now. Unfortunately, with the economy we've got now, most people that try to get jobs, the jobs that your teenagers would have simply don't exist, or they're taken up by adults. My first job was the paper route, delivering papers, newspapers. Kids don't do that anymore. It's just not there. So many of it has gone digital, and the ones that still get a paper copy of the newspaper delivered to them, it's somebody in a car delivering it to them. The kid's not walking around town anymore with the paper sack tied to the front of his bicycle like I did, deliver newspapers. It just doesn't exist. A lot of your jobs at your restaurants, those are now part-time jobs for adults because they need that part-time income because our economy is garbage. Inflation is through the roof. Your housing prices are ridiculous. Food prices are high. Healthcare is absolute garbage thanks to the ACA. And you're paying wild amounts of money out of pocket now. The cost of college tuition is absolutely insane. It has no value for what you pay into it. And people are saddled with lifelong debt because of it, because the interest rate is structured crazy, and that needs a wild reformation. But I can go on and on about this. That stuff doesn't exist, guys. So yes, you and I can say, yeah, when President Reagan was in his first term in office, I had a job. Well, yeah, that's great, man. Our kids don't have that opportunity. They don't. I watched both my kids that are now adults, when they were teenagers, struggle to find jobs. Occasionally they could find an odd job with somebody we knew in, like agriculture or something, give them something to do here or there, make a little bit extra cash. But for the most part, the jobs as bus boys, paper routes, things like that, mechanics, helpers, they're gone. It's because we don't have the manufacturing base. We don't have the textile base. We don't have the basis of our economy that we used to have, where the adults would go to work and make a good income and support a family, and the kids could have a job to do doing the other stuff in retail and food service. You look at all those jobs now. Now, some of them are college kids, but most of them are people that are out on their own, and they need that as a second income, or even using it as a primary income, because there's not a lot of jobs out there that pay full-time wages, full-time benefits, that sort of thing. So, yes, we need to have high expectations for the younger generations, but we need to be reasonable. We need to understand that our world doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. And I don't know as if America will ever see that again, regardless of who's president, regardless of who's in the House and the Senate. I just don't think we're going to see that time again. And that leads to a whole nother problem with like the gig economy and influencers and people finding ways to make money outside the workforce. But that's a whole nother video. But yeah, let's keep in mind that no, we don't have to understand the younger generation. We do have to understand that what we grew up in does not exist.